their survivability and durability, but to how well these aircraft have captured people's imaginations. From the right and over your shoulder, inbound, Dan McCue in the F4U Corsair and Lieutenant Adam Hoff in the Navy's FA-18 Hornet. This is the tail of Legacy Flight. It is the soldier and not the poet who has given us freedom of speech. It is the airman and not the reporter who has given us freedom of press. It is the Coast Guardsman and the sailor and not the campus organizer who has given us the freedom to demonstrate. And it is the Marine who salutes the flag, who serves beneath the flag, and whose coffin is draped by the flag, who allows the protester the right to burn the flag. As Lieutenant Adam Hoff and Dan McCue continue to fly in this tailhook legacy flight, I would like all of you, ladies and gentlemen, to stand and give a round of applause to the men and women of all our armed forces who have served, who serve today, and the National Guard as well as the reserves, for their dedication and their service to us to give us the freedom to enjoy this day today. Let's hear it all the way up and down the line. Dan McCue is a retired Delta Airlines captain with over 35 years flying with Delta. The F4U Corsair that you see him flying today is from a 12,571 built for the Navy and Marine Corps and also the Navy of Great Britain. The bent wing bird, as it was known, was first flown on carriers by the United States Navy, but they encountered great difficulty flying it. And so the British said, give us a few of those Corsairs, we want to try something. And what they did was change the canopy to what is known as a Malcolm hood and raise the pilot up and then change the approach to the carrier to look down through that crook in the wing, that inverted gull wing, to fly the approach to keep the carrier deck in view until just before touchdown. That inverted gull wing was designed on this aircraft by the Vaught Company in order to swing this big propeller. It's a 13-foot in diameter propeller that is powered by a 2,000 horsepower radial engine. Bigger engine, bigger propeller. But without a long landing gear, that propeller would have struck the deck of the carrier on landing. And with the kind of landings carrier pilots fly, they needed to have a very, very strong landing gear. And so they bent the wing down, extended the landing gear from the lowest part of the wing, and then bent the wing back up. Hence the name Bent Wing Bird. Ladies and gentlemen, from behind you and overhead, the last pass of the United States Navy's tailhook legacy flight. Robert Conrad played the incredible Pappy Boeing Hampton, Greg Pappy Boyington, who was a Marine Corps pilot whose Black Sheep Squadron flew these Corsair aircraft because painted that way in anticipation of 2011 and the 100th anniversary of naval aviation. It's going to be a big year for the United States Navy as they celebrate their centennial, 100 years of aviation for the United States Navy. Now, as Adam Pop gets ready to land, I was talking about how they want to land with pinpoint accuracy and how every landing is graded. At naval air stations all over the country and around the world, on the runways of most use, there is painted on the runway the landing area of an aircraft carrier. And they land like they were going to land on a carrier every time. If you have had any chance to fly as a civilian pilot or been with civilian pilots or even in an airliner, there is something that those of us who are civilian and non-Navy flyers or Marine Corps flyers do at the end just before we land is we flare. We pull back gently on the stick or the control yoke to touch down very, very gently. Not so with these guys. As the canopy comes up on that beautiful F-18 Hornet representing your United States Navy and Marine Corps, we'll get a chance to wave at Adam Pop in just a moment. Adam folds the wings up on his F-18 Hornet. That's how they get more airplanes on the deck of a carrier. Also foldable are the wings on the Corsair, but he's not going to fold them while he's taxiing. He will only fold them up while he's sitting still. But this is a great moment. Get your cameras going. This is really worth having pictures of. What a great shot. Dan McCue from York, Maine. And from the entire opposite coast in Seattle, Washington. 1978 to 2008. The Hornet, believe it or not, was a loser in a competition for a light.